Lieutenant Paul Hickman is a family man with 2 kids. Lieutenant Commander Susanna Lighton almost married Paul Balgrow. And Jordy enjoys the bachelor's life a little too much, or so he says. Hello, everybody, and welcome to The Seventh Rule with Sirach Lofton.
Hello, hello.
My name is Ryan T. Husk, and today we're doing a review of Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 4, Episode 18, Identity Crisis, story by Tim DeHaas, teleplay by the Brannon Braga, directed by Weinrich Colby. This was March 23rd, 1991. Where were you? And we've got a very special guest with us today, everybody. If you can believe it, this special guest is known as a makeup artist and makeup effects supervisor. The world-renowned person. We're stalling because he disappeared for a second. Yeah, the preeminent. How you doing today, Sirach?
I'm doing great. I'm I'm excited to talk about this episode. I had a lot of fun with it. And, obviously having the legend Michael Westmore himself here as well as, an honor.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is one of the best episodes as far as keeping that mystery and suspicion going. I felt like we're reaching a point on this show, at least in this segment of the 4th season, where we've gotten a lot of horror. It seems like this show is taking a slight horror twist, and I don't know if that was, relevant to the rise of these horror films and the success of those movies in the box office. The Friday the 13th, those kinds of movies. But it feels like this show, and I want to say the last 3 episode block or thereabouts, we've taken a horror twist where it's like you're watching the episode feeling like, you don't want to watch it alone at night. Let's put it that way. It's like this. Maybe watch it in the daytime, like we're doing. It makes me feel fine. But I'm not into being scared too much, so scary movies and horror films are not my cup of tea. But it is in the tradition, in the line of the kind of mystery that we used to feel with the original Star Trek series for me. That's one of the things I felt.
Yeah, you know what else makes me feel fine? Summer breeze. So I think you too. So everybody, we are waiting on Mr. Michael Westmore. He's got some technical difficulties, but he'll be joining us in just a second here. Obviously, you know who he is. Multiple time award winner, and he's basically a legend in this industry, and he's a legend world-renowned. Oh, there he is, Mr. Michael Westmore. Good. How are you today, sir?
Good, thank you.
We've got a lot of wind right now in LA and the San Fernando Valley, so I think that might be affecting our Wi-Fi.
If you wanted to get me on the phone too, it's okay.
Okay. But this is working right now. So,
okay.
First of all, just thank you so much for hanging out with us, Michael, because you always are so gracious with your time, and we really appreciate you and value your time. So, Michael, when they first gave you the script, do they give you notes on what they want it to look like, or do they just kind of say, make whatever you like, we trust you?
He's like, I'm not telling.
Oh, what a bummer. Hey, everybody. Well, we ran into some technical difficulties, so I don't know if Michael Westmore will be able to join in. Again, it's very, very windy in LA, so it's kind of messing with people's Wi-Fi for the last couple days. Anyway, Michael Westmore did a phenomenal job, Sirach, right?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. And I could tell you maybe some of the questions I had for him, for example, I wanted to know what that mask and that outfit behind you was made out of. It had that iridescent kind of, were they filming it with a black light? Is that some kind of black light, paint job or makeup job? That was kind of one of the things I wanted to know about, because it looks amazing on camera, and it does kind of have that iridescent feel to it, where it's, it just looks amazing. So that was one of my big questions: what the material of of the makeup was.
Should I pick this up? Hang on.
Yeah, do it. Maybe he's got the answer.
All right, so we spoke with Mr. Michael Westmore, and he gave us all the information we needed over the phone. Apparently, the technology just doesn't work sometimes. We apologize for that. But basically, in a nutshell, 6 hours was how long LeVar Burton was in the makeup chair.
Wow.
6 hours. And Sirach, you and I were wondering if that was, like black light, if they painted him with black light.
Yeah.
And yeah, he said that the paint that they used was like black light paint that would glow. And also the contact lenses were made, contact lenses that would glow when you put drops on them. So they would put these contact lenses in, add some drops, and then they were like yellow contact lenses. And when you add the drops, those would make them glow. I don't know how that works. And if he were here, he could probably explain it, but that's what he said. Pretty amazing, right?
Sounds like it was a miserable thing to, to put all that stuff on, you know what I mean? The drops, the contacts, all that makeup, painting. I mean, geez, 6 hours. You know that means to take it off in order to preserve it. It takes probably another 2 or 3 hours.
Yep, that's another thing Westmore said, was that he said, and then to take it off and to clean them up, it was 2 hours more. So LeVar Burton,
that's an 8-hour day, just all makeup. 8-hour day, full day worth of work, just getting in and out of that thing.
Oh, an 8-hour day bookending your work day. That could be 8, 10, 12 hours.
Exactly. I know he does not look fondly upon this episode. LeVar Burton must
LeVar
must have hated, but he got an episode centered around his character that wasn't weird or super creepy. It actually made him look like a normal guy for the first time in a long time.
Great relationship, great friendship, yeah. And just to finish up on the Westmore stuff, I will tell you this, that when we spoke on the phone, he said, "Oh yeah, identity crisis. Oh yeah, I remember." So I don't want to speak on his behalf, but he seemed to be remembering, like, "Oh boy, that was quite a task." I don't remember exactly how he said it, but this would have been great to show him. We actually have everybody, Jordy Leforge, ready to join us. It's LeVar Burton, everybody. Please welcome LeVar Burton. Here
oh, wow.
I have the actual, for those of you listening, I've got the actual action figure of this character.
Yeah. Did Michael Westmore happen to name the species of this thing? Did he happen to know what it was? Or
he kept calling them, and we didn't get a chance to find out why, but he was calling them the DJs.
No way.
He said it like 3 times. He said, "Oh yeah, and then the DJs, we did this, and with the DJs." I'm like, I wonder what the DJs means, and we'll never know what the DJs were. We could ask him later, but yeah, the DJs. He said those other people, the DJs, were just like full body suits, so that was quick in and out, right? But we could obviously tell which parts were like makeup heavy and which parts were bodysuit shoots.
Yeah. I wanted to congratulate him. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to, do the full interview as normal, but I really wanted to congratulate him on the makeup. The believability level was high for me. It did not look like it was dated or like something like, oh, that's old school. It doesn't even look like it works today. Like when you see the original Gorn from the Star Trek, the original series, and you're like, not so, scary looking, perhaps.
Not too scary, no.
But this makeup was scary looking. It gave me creepy vibes. Like, what if this were to happen to somebody? And this is, because it made you kind of visualize this character who starts off, such a beautiful person. The Jordy's friend here, Commander
Susanna Lighton.
Yes, Susanna Lighton, who I thought did a very good job in this episode. for a person who just is introduced at this moment to have that kind of chemistry, to make it feel like she's has camaraderie with these people. I felt like there was a level of comfortability with Riker and with Jordy that made her feel like she's always been, having this kind of ongoing friendship with people. So for her to establish that so early on without actually being a regular cast member, that was pretty good.
Mm-hmm. And she had some moments in the makeup chair for sure, too. We didn't get a chance to find out about that, but assuming that was a few hours. I mean, she didn't get like the full, well, she kind of did have a full face of makeup for a little while.
It was a full face, not the body.
And the hand, I was wondering about the hand situation too. Because what was it that it was like when they were in the full bodysuit, we also saw like the full hand, but it kind of came together and was like really long and all that. And I was hoping to find out from Westmore if that's more wardrobe when it's like a full bodysuit, if that's still, I think it's still makeup effects, but it looked like it wasn't just like gloves. It was like kind of full, there was like filler in there to make it look knobby and long. And I'm just curious about what's in there, what that process is, because even that stuff, you have to custom make a glove that can fit like that, and that can go long and has like weird nails and all that. But
it had like a gelatin type feel to it, right? In between, like the way it was molded into one kind of nub or something. It felt like some gelatin action there. It made me think of a Jamja stick.
So you wanted to lick those alien fingers?
No, I have already licked them. They were Jamja sticks. They made out of the same material, probably.
Gotcha.
But very good job. And actually, that captain, the commander that we were talking about, that full facial makeup that she was in at one point, that was pretty detailed too. Like it looked. It was one of those moments where I had to pause it and draw it. I like the over accentuated upper kind of lip, where it was like a huge, bigger piece on there. The nose ridge kind of looking reptilian to some degree. I felt like this felt like a transformation into some kind of reptile. And I'm sure that if we had a chance to ask Michael Westmore about it, he would have mentioned probably some reptilian inspiration behind. I felt like lizard reptile kind of vibe, because you have those lizards that are able to change color.
Chameleons.
Some of them, and some of them are iridescent, I think, to some degree.
So this is fun. Just to back up with what Mr. Michael Westmore said, I want to look up what it says online, because this is all things that he's must have said in the past. So just to close out the makeup talk, here are some of the points. One, it took 4 makeup artists 6 hours to apply the full Tarchanin 3 species makeup to Lavar Burton. According to Michael Westmore, it was the longest makeup ever done on The Next Generation. So it sounded like it. 6 hours sounds like the longest, but that's confirmed. 6 hours, and it was 4 makeup artists. Unbelievable. Then on top of that, it says the Westmore made makeup and prosthetics were so intricate that Lavar Burton needed a nurse on hand when removing and reapplying for bathroom stops. And then lastly, this episode was nominated for an Emmy Award for Outstanding Achievement in Makeup for a Series. Of course, that happens all the time with Michael Westmore. He's used to those. And was there another?
Tartanian 3 is what you said there.
Tarchanin. Anyway, Counselor Choi wasn't in this episode either. Okay, so that was kind of like the trivia of the makeup.
4 makeup artists, 6 hours. That means if one person was applying it, this is a 24-hour makeup job.
Yeah, that's it, round the clock. So anyway, everybody, you can understand why we wanted Michael Westmore for this episode, because this is like, it was nominated for an Emmy. It was like the longest anybody's ever been in the makeup chair. And, it looks amazing. It was different. It wasn't just like a forehead piece or a different outfit. They basically said, go for it. Go nuts. Do something totally new and unique and different. But we'll talk more about this episode. We're going to take a quick break. I bet you Michael's Wi-Fi will then work all of a sudden. But anyway, we'll take a quick break, and then we'll come back and talk about this episode more fully on the 7th rule.